Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 2 of our summer class. It's Dr. Allen. One, I want to thank everyone. Everyone's been already logging in and posting everything for week 1. It's been awesome. Hopefully, the grades have been coming out. I'm recording this actually on July 3rd. I hope everyone has a good 4th if I don't say it at the end. So keep up the good work. I've been getting some questions. I want to address a couple just in case anyone else has those same questions. I will do my best. I'm going to try to keep this video kind of it won't be the 45 minutes that the first one was. Um, we have a lot of technology to cover, but what I'm going to do to kind of supplement a lot of me is I'll make sure that there are YouTube videos that are a little more polished and a little more in depth on each one of the tech topics. Um, Also, I'm going to try to my best to do this in one take. So forgive me if there's like a long pause or some ums or anything like that. But again, it's just I figure I'm just going to go for it. So with all that being said, let me go ahead and address a couple of the things that have already been asked. Just to make sure we're all on the same page, I'm going to look over here in my notebook. One, Apple certification. One or two people have already started it and had questions about it. Awesome. You have until July 31st to get that done. All the information is down here. But the big question that was asked, and I think it's a good one. I don't care if you do the iPad or the iMac certification; they're kind of one and the same. The other thing is you do not have to have an Apple product to do the certification. Basically, they make you do these quizzes. You can be on a regular PC, you get the certification either way. So don't worry if you don't have an Apple. Uh, if you really want to give it a shot, we do have some iPads at school or on campus that I can loan out. You can check out. The only issue with that right now is I don't know if you've seen emails or not. Community Hall is actually closed for the next week or two because they're redoing the flooring, which did need done. So I don't actually have access to the building right now. But if you wanted to do it, well, I'll have access to it before the end of this class. So you can contact me if you're interested in trying an iPad, but you don't need it. The other question is pertaining only to the graduate students. It's the paper. I'm going to jump on that at the very end. I'll tell you kind of the time mark on the blast that I do for this if you don't want to, if you need to go back to it. So, with all that being said, what are we going to look at this week? We're going to look at 21st century skills in the classroom. I'll be the first to admit there's a discussion board on it. 21st century skills was a big buzzword around the year 2000 to about 2010. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's died down. I think the phrasing of it's been a little different, but I think they still are kind of one and the same in terms of good skill sets and things like that. So I'm just kind of sticking with the term. We're also going to look at Ed Puzzle. Ed Puzzle, I think, is a pretty neat product. It seems to be a love it or leave it or lump it, however you want to say it. Um, Tech for a lot of people who take the class, but I do at least want to introduce it to you. It was one of those technologies, you'll probably hear me say this a lot, especially this week and next. It was one of those technologies that's actually been around for a little bit, and not a lot of teachers were using it. And then the pandemic happened in 2020, and it seemed to explode. I don't see it being used as much in the last year or two, but I think it's a pretty cool technology. I've thought about incorporating it in this class for a few assignments, but that's neither here nor there. So we're going to do a little bit of a quick crash course on that. We're going to look at presentation software. There are many, and to complete the assignment, if you're familiar with one of these, you're fine to kind of steer clear of the one that I'm going to show you. I'm a big proponent of Nearpod. That's the one that I like. It's the one I'm most comfortable with. I've been using it for, it's been well over, it's got to be 10 years now, at least, or maybe over. I used it when I was a middle school teacher. I've always liked it. I think it's pretty user friendly. But some people actually prefer Pear Deck, which is one that some people think aligns a little better with the Google type stuff, Google Classroom and things like that. Both can be embedded into Google Classroom. And by the way, I've liked all the Google Classrooms that I've seen so far. But I think Pear Deck is the one that was kind of meant for Google Classroom, if that makes sense. I might be misspeaking a little bit there, but um, if you like Pear Deck, like I know Frederick County, Maryland was using it a lot a year or two ago, and they still may. You're welcome to check out the YouTube video and use that as the assignment completion instead of Nearpod. I have Powtoon on there too. I think it's gotten a little dated, and I almost took it off the syllabus, but if you want to check it out, I have a YouTube video up on that too. But I'm going to show you Nearpod very briefly in this video, and we'll kind of go from there. QR codes, again, something pre-pandemic you hardly ever saw or you see sometimes. Now they're everywhere. I want you to be able to make one. I'm pretty sure everyone on here can make a QR code, but it'll give me a chance to kind of show you what you have access to here at Shepherd with your login account. Um, Last but not least, Flip. I actually just found this out, and let me see. I have two Chrome logins open at the moment, and I can't remember which one I have Flip on. It's this one. Flip is the camera. You've probably done these two, especially they were very, very, very popular during the pandemic when no one could go to any like live buildings or live classes. And it's like the live video responses. I went to sign in and you get up. Maybe it's going to let me do it. It was logging me out. It was doing it all morning. Ah, it is. It's the camera and it's you can do video response. Oh, there it went. I was going to say. Um, Apparently, I just found this out. It's moving to Teams. So, hey, happy 4th of July. I'm not going to require you to do a flip assignment because if it's going to Teams, it's not going to matter. And it looks like the site's already down. So what I'm going to do is I'll put a video up if you want to check it out. I'm not for sure how it's going to be incorporated into Teams, so I don't want to go down that road too much. And I'll be the first to admit, I'm not the biggest Teams fan in terms of video content. I'm definitely more Zoom oriented. Um, but I'll make sure it's up there. And don't worry, you'll get credit for the flip assignment. So I'm not even going to require that. I just don't think it's neither here nor there. If I'm not familiar with the changes yet, I don't think it's fair for me to have you all do that. So, hey, flip, we've completed flip, but I would definitely check out the video if it is something that interests you. So, with all that being said, I said I'd try to keep this short. So, let's just go ahead and jump in. Ed Puzzle. Now, let's go back to the website and look at something here. What is due for Ed Puzzle? I hope I have these in strict, nice order here. I may or I may not. Do. And if you look, I do, thank goodness. These may not be perfectly up to date to what you'll see next week, but I'm going there. As you can see here for Ed Puzzle, we're going to create an Ed Puzzle account. You've already done that. When you did your Google Classroom and you had a Google account, you can just log in with Google. I would recommend doing that. You're going to select a video. I'll show you how to do that very simply here in a second. There's a lot of different ways to do the videos. I'll show you the way I do it because I just think it's simple for me. Sometimes I think less is more. There's a lot of different ways you can actually select videos. And I will say this with Ed Puzzle, of course, Crash Course as a social studies teacher, I know are super, super, super popular. Khan Academies are on there. And of course, YouTube, which is what I'm going to use my video on. You're going to select a video. I don't want it to be more than 5 minutes. Not that I don't enjoy watching all the videos, but you know, it's time wise, it can get a little long. But here's the thing with that. You can select a video that is 10 minutes or more, or I'm sorry, 5 minutes or more, or let me see something here. Sorry, someone just shut the door of my house. I'm working from home because of Canudi. Just making sure I got everything. Yeah, there it is. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. Let me reset there. You're going to create your Ed Puzzle account. You're going to select your video, and then you're actually going to crop it to about 5 minutes or less. So they're a nice time frame. I will say this: you can select a video that's 5 minutes or less and not worry about the cropping, but you can edit in Ed Puzzle. Also, you're going to select 5 questions or notes that you can put within Ed Puzzle. It's very simple to do. I'll show you how to do it. And then once you're submitted, you're going to submit the link on Brightspace. I wanted to add real quick here, and this is a question that I have been asked 3 or 4 times. I think I mentioned it in the last video, and I'll make sure to put it in the blast out this week. When you're submitting a link, if it won't let you do it in Brightspace, just put it on a Word document and submit the Word document. That's all you have to do. Simple as that. And if worst case scenario happens, just email it to me. It's a CYA, and I won't say a word about it. I prefer them on Brightspace just because they're there. But if you really are having problems, email it to me. No big deal, but Word document and such. So, okay, let's jump in. And sorry about that. I heard my door shut again. I don't usually record from home. So, all right. Ed Puzzle. I'm going to go ahead and jump up here. I am already logged in, and let me move my face, but I'm going to go ahead and log out. When you go out, when you go in here and you see the login, you're going to select your teacher. If it asks, oh, by the way, if it ever asks what school you're at when you're registering, Shepherd is fine. You can put Shepherd. It's not a big deal. If you're actually out of school and want to put it, that's fine. I know some people actually are already teaching. Um, you can sign in simply with Google. And I'm going to warn you, when I do my Google, this Google account is actually on all my TVs at home. So I don't know who in my house sometimes is watching things on there. So when we look at YouTube, you may see some wild stuff on the side, anything from movie breakdowns to sports to video games to whatever. And actually, I'm kind of glad that I'm mentioning that because um, that's something you got to be aware of at schools when you're projecting things. When you pull up YouTube, a lot of teachers use YouTube because of the great clips right now. Just make sure that you know what's going to show up on your sidebar. I don't know what everyone watches. Just a word of advice on that. So anyway, all right. Here's what we're going to do. When you get logged into this, as you can see, you can create classes. And all you have to do to add a class is hit this plus sign, and you create a class, and you just name it, and it'll pop up right there on the left-hand side over here. I've already got a few, so I'm just going to kind of leave it. To create a video, as you can see here, you can kind of go around, you can discover some. If you go back to the home page, there's YouTube Originals, there's there. I'm just kind of fishing around real quick, just to kind of show you. If you go back, um, I'm going to show you what I do. I like YouTube. It's usually what I use. I actually went in and got a video, and hopefully I still have it on here. You can search or you can just cut and paste it. I mean, oh, there they are. Sorry, I was battling to make sure I could find them. There's Crash Courses and Khan Academies, National Geographics, and such. If you actually have the web address, though, you can just put it there. Let's see if I actually was smart, kept the same one. Oh, I did. I have a YouTube video on Ellis Island. We just went up to New York. Boom, it's right there. And you're just going to kind of fix this up. So after you put that in, if you want to shorten a video, I said it had to be 5 minutes or less. Whoops, of course I hit play. Sorry, I'm working on my Mac here. There, I think I got it. There, you see how that thing goes back and it fixes the time? That's how you can cut it and edit it. You can add the cut after you do that. This video is only 2 minutes and 45 seconds, so it's fine. You do not need to edit it, or you would not need to edit it. But once you put it in here and it starts playing, let's go ahead and hit it. It'll play for me. Play. There we go.
More than 50 million international migrants lived in the US in 2020.
Okay. There's a little fact there. So you can add a questionnaire, or you can do a voiceover, or you can do a note. I would probably just add a question, and I would put something here like multiple choice. The video mentions, these are not going to be the greatest questions in the world, mentions how many immigrants, we'll go, the irony, we're going to, don't hold this against me, in the US in 2020. I probably don't have that question perfect, but you get the point, hopefully. 2015, such. So, and then whatever the answer is, actually, let's do this. I like this question a little better since we went there. I know it didn't relate to this, but maybe it was discussion before. Where is Ellis Island? And you can put New Jersey. We'll put New York. You can add questions down there if you want to add another choice. It's, I think, technically in New Jersey. You save it. And you see now the students will get a question. That's it. And then you can play, and then you can, when you're building it, you can continue.
Search report. More than any country, migration is part of the American experience.
Now, if you wanted to add a note or an open-ended question, you can do that. We'll just do this. Which country has the most immigrants entering? And hopefully I'm phrasing that right. I'm kind of worried about the ed puzzle more than the content. US, UK, and again, you would just pick, and that looks good. You would save.
Migrants.
And by the way, this actually makes students have to answer it, but you get the point. You need to add 5
migrants entered
things into this. It can be 5 questions. It can be 3 questions and 2 open-ended questions. It could be 4 notes and 1 question. It could be your voiceover if you wanted to record. Um, but as you can see, YouTube sometimes has some restrictions, so it depends on the video. You can upload your own videos if you want to do on this. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but I'm just going to do 2 questions. Once you get the questions added, you can hit finish. We have it there. And as you can see down there, it's got the little dots. That means the questions are there. So I'm going to go back to my videos. Now, hopefully, when I go to my content and I'm logged into the right one, I might have done this on the one that I did not. That's okay. I can use one of the other videos. As you can see, there it is. I will say this because it's a free account, you are limited on the amount of videos that you can do. But wherever you want to assign a video, I'm going to cheat a little bit since that one's down there and I'd have to start deleting some stuff. You just pick your video that you wanted to add, you click it, yours will show up there, and you assign it to a class. That's all you have to do. So assign, and I'm going to assign this to Intro to Pedagogy, all students, next. And here's all the details. And then, like I said, you can have prevent skipping so they can't skip in the video and just answer questions. So that's all there. Let's hit assign. And it's there. And there's some students who were in this class before. And I believe that should be it. Now, if you want to share a video with anyone, let's go back to my content. Like when you want to share your video with me, let's click it. And you can just, if you want, you can just do share preview. And let me move my face and copy the link. And that's what you can just send that to me and I can check out the video. If I have problems, I'll let you know, but just submit that like that. Again, I'll have a video up. I sometimes think Edpuzzle has a lot of steps and can get a little clunky and a little confusing. So please don't hesitate to email me. So hopefully you kind of got that and I wasn't going too quick. But that's Edpuzzle for the week. And again, I think it's a great tool because if you're doing an asynchronous course, if you want to do any type of flipped instruction, again, the flipped instruction where you got the videos playing, students kind of do a little bit of the background work. And then when they come in the class, you can just kind of hit the ground running and do different types of charts, discussions, debates, whatever you want to do. There's a lot of cool stuff on here. And again, I know just looking at what everyone is, that by the way, the Google Arts and Cultures were great. Just seeing everyone's background helps. I know we have a lot of physical education majors in this class. So if you want, please, I mean, find some cool videos on anything, any sport. Pickleball, I think, was something I saw a lot last time. I guess it's starting to hit the curriculum a lot. Free throw shooting, anything like that. But anything should work. Just make sure that it's educational related when you pick your videos. So that is Edpuzzle. And let me shrink the thing down here a little bit. And the next one I'm going to show, let me get that Ellis Allen off there too. I will talk about 21st century here in a second. All right, I think I got that all done. Our next assignment, let me see if I can make this a little bigger. Let me shrink this up real quick. Sorry, sometimes I have to break them up into different ones just for my own sanity. That's Cami. I'll get that cleaned up here. Sorry, I still have a few. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the QR code since they're there, and then I'll save Nearpod for last since I have this one up. I'm assuming probably at this point, a lot of people already know what QR codes are. I'm actually 100% sure. But just in case you don't, QR codes are those little black and white boxes that sometimes you'll see on things, and you just hold your phone up and it pulls up information. They're very good for educators because, of course, if you do any type of signups, especially if you're in secondary and you're looking to have people sign up for like a play or a community activity or a sport or a meeting or things like that, you can just add it to the flyer that you're creating. And of course, we're going to talk about things like Cami and such later that you can do. And Cami, Canvas, Canva, getting a little tongue tied there when you're making flyers. Slow down there. When you're making flyers and maybe Canva, you can add a QR code or just in general. I've actually seen a lot of teachers use QR codes, like they'll just project it up on the board with their projector or up on the monitor. And the students, if they have iPads, will just hold it up and they might have to do some sort of survey. I've even seen quizzes done like this. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts of what a QR code is. But how are you going to create it? Well, you're going to go and you're going to log in to your Shepherd email. And what I mean by that, let me pull this down. Hopefully I might be able to hit this. When you go to the website, and you look here, you're going to hit your email. I'm assuming most of you have probably logged into your email from home this way. When you do that, I'm already signed in, but you come to this page. If you look on this side, you got all this stuff. There's Word, there's Excel. I will go ahead and tell you there are a lot of Office features that are on here. If you ever want to do this, this kind of is very similar to the HyperDocs type thing. I know I mentioned it last week, but just in case I didn't make this connection with Google, this all auto saves. Like, for example, I'm working on a grant proposal. It's in there. And actually, I can share it with other professors or a couple others that are helping me with this. We're kind of all connected. If you want to make PowerPoints, they're in here. I will warn you, this is all tied to your Shepherd login. So make sure when you leave, if you want anything, that you download it or move it over to another file. But yes, you can use anything that's in here and it's there. It's like basically a cloud type thing. Excuse me. Excuse me. I could feel the cough coming. Um, there's the Teams if you ever need to like see it. I don't know if the student one has Teams. I feel like it does in case you have to access it, but we have this. With all that being said, if you go up here to this waffle, and there's some cool stuff, I would like you to go to Forms, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that's all on here. But I would like you to make a small survey, a sign up, a quiz, or something, 5 to 10 questions. We're just going to do new form. And when you click that, you're going to have add new, and you're going to, title it. We'll just do a sample. Let's do New York's. Let's do NLC field trip since I went there. It's a little bit on my mind. Had a good time. All right. And then, of course, you're going to add questions. You can do it multiple choice. You can do a text question. You can do a rating. I don't care which one you do. And just insert them. So you can do one. Would, whoops. Would you prefer to travel via plane or bus to NYC? And I would just like you to fill these out. And as you're doing that, you're gonna do a couple things. One, let me make sure collaborate. And let's do settings. I think it's settings. Oh, there we go. I need you to go in and make sure that you click this. Anyone can respond. So that's under settings, under these 3 dots, just to make sure that I have access. Then you're going to collect responses. And as you look here, here's the links and all this stuff. But you can shorten it. That's nice. I don't want the link though. When you click right here, it says QR code. That's what I want you to submit. And all you have to do is download it. I'll click mine and I can download it. And that's what you're going to submit. So again, a 5 to 10 question survey, quiz, whatever works for you. Do it in Forms, submit this. And again, if you need help with it, feel free to ask. But again, all you need to do is, let's go back here. To get the forms, you just go to your waffle, you click Forms, and you just click your forms. I don't care if you make a new quiz or form works. They both set up the same way. You're going to click that. And once you're in there, like again, we'll do NCA movie form. This is something I was doing with a teacher PD, but you just go in here, go to settings, go have settings already set up, but let's go select responses, and you're just going to hit QR code. I really just need to see that you can make the QR code. If you want to use the Google login, the Google does it also, and I don't care if you use Google Forms to do it. OneDrive is just something I know everyone has access to, but if you feel comfortable using Google, that's fine. But again, I just need a QR code that I sit around and I take my phone, I hold it up and go on there. Honestly, if there's somewhere other type of technology that you like that you think you can gather information with and use in your own school or in your own classroom and you want to use it, I'm not opposed to that, just as long as the QR code is there and as long as I have access to it. So with that being said, that should be that. And last but not least is Nearpod. Sorry, I think I did that on a different. I did. All right, Nearpod. Again, Nearpod is one of these ones that you can log in with your Google Classroom, but let me go ahead and just go out, or Google account. Let me log out. Sorry, my face is just in the way. Let me go back. There we go. There we go. Log out. Yeah. Long morning. We click log in. This is why it's loading up. Sorry, my poor Mac's working pretty hard. This is something I always think of Nearpod like this. It's kind of like a PowerPoint on steroids. You can do a lot of formative instant type assessments to kind of see if your audience is understanding what you're saying. I'm going to show you a preview really quick of some of the bells and whistles. Let me just tell you this though, and again, I think I mentioned it last week, but just to reiterate, because we're going to run into this. All these things that you're logging into, like Edpuzzle, Nearpod, we'll talk about Blookit and Kahoot, things like that. They're going to ask you if you want a certain type of technology upgrade. You're not required to do any of that. All the stuff, we only want free accounts here. We're not dealing with anything that's going to cost you any extra money or anything like that. Um, Now, I will say this: as you get more established, I did pay a little bit. I paid like $12 a month for the souped up Nearpod because I used it a lot, so I needed the storage, and I liked some of the extra features. But you really have to ask yourself when you start teaching if it's worth, excuse me, if it's worth it. Also, check with your districts because a lot of times they already have these accounts. I know Berkeley County and I believe Jefferson County already have Nearpod accounts. So you'll probably already have all the bells and whistles when you join up. So with that being said, let me sign in. My sign in is actually not a Google one because I made it so long ago. Okay. When you come into this and once you're signed in, just to make note, you are welcome to kind of check out some of this. There are like content libraries in different areas. There's PE ones, there's social studies, there's science, obviously biology, math, English, and all that. Check them out. You can also, well, let me just show you one. I sit here and just kind of babble. This is kind of what it does. This is just a preview. But you can actually project this to a whole class with a code, and they just get on their device and they can answer the questions and all. Or you can assign it as an individual independent assignment. I'm sure most people at this point have probably dealt with this. This was something I presented on, but there's a lot of different things. There's a collaborative board where, as it slowly goes on there, it shows if I would send this code to the audience when you share it, and when they type in, they'll throw up what they think. Not literally throw up, but they'll actually type in and post what they want to. They would answer that. So, what are the first thing? What's the first word you think of when you hear the word West Virginia? And they would, all these words will start popping up on there. I like the collaborative. There's where some of the results. It seemed like pepperoni rolls was a big one. Huh. This is just a little bit on my presentation. I'm not worried about that. Um, you can do instant polls. And basically what I'm getting at here is you load up a PowerPoint and then you insert these things within the PowerPoint. So you can kind of check and get that instant feedback. I just wanted to show you a few more. There's actually like virtual field trips in here. There's one, I don't have it in this one. There's one that I know is very popular. It's called Time to Climb. If you've ever seen the Price is Right, where you get the yodeler where he goes up and then eventually he could fall. It's a race to the top. It's kind of like if you've done book it, which we're going to look at. But anyway, just seeing if I had any other bells and whistles on here. Really liked the polls there, didn't I? But there's that. Let me just go in here and just go ahead and go back and just show you how to make it. Now, there's two different ways you can actually make a Nearpod. You can actually go in here and you're going to do lessons. You can embed old Google Slides. You can click a lesson. And as you can see here, it has an add new. So you can just add the slides and type it. I think this is the one thing with Nearpod that I think is a little tricky sometimes. Um, I don't like their slide feature because sometimes editing it and such, it doesn't seem to flow. But what I do is I make my PowerPoints. And as you can see here, you can actually just upload files. You can do a PDF, PowerPoint, anything like that. So let me show you. I think I just loaded one up. Whoops. Da, 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 da. Oh, I did. Hold on. There we go. And there it is. Okay. Let me load it up. Now I'm going to take this PowerPoint or PDF. I think that's what it is, but it's a PowerPoint. I'm always a big PDF type guy. I'm going to hit individual slides. And you're going to see something happen here in a minute, hopefully. This is how I would do it. Again, you can type in each one. And just to kind of go over the assignment itself, I want you to, well, I'll pull it up on our website here in a minute. But I want you to go in and make a PowerPoint of 10 slides. And then I want you to add some of the bells and whistles within it. It can be a poll, it can be collaborative, it can be anything. It can be virtual field trip. There's virtual um, locations. But as you can see on here, there's all the PowerPoints are there. And then, as you can see, I have a QR code. So, but when you go in here, you can see there's all these different features. There's interactive, there's quizzes, there's fill in the blank, time to climb. I can add any of these. So, oh, the draw it is a very popular one. You write responses. So let's just do that one. All right, we're going to add draw it. And we're going to slowly add draw it. And sorry, these questions again are just going to be kind of a little funky, but we'll do something related to draw the shepherd campus. Again, since it's separate training, you're going to hit save. And as you can see, it's probably going to be down here. So you're going to have to move it where you want it. But that's fine. I think that's too bad. And then if you want to check it out, and again, I'll have a video up that has a little more details on this. But as you can see, I think there's some pretty cool stuff in here. There's discussion, there's the flip. We talked about flip if you want to give it a role and embed it there. There's the polls. It's kind of looking to see, oh, virtual field trip's cool. Let's see if I can do something there. We'll do West Virginia and search. See if anything pops up. Hey, doesn't look like it. Um, that's all right. We're just gonna pick something anyway. All right, let's pick Hong Kong. Hong Kong, West Virginia. Very close. In proximity and things like that. But so you can see, you can move that one. You just grab it. And also, once it's there, wherever you want to put it, you just hit save and exit, and it'll be there. And hopefully it'll come up there. Again, I'll send a video that has a little more of the bells and features, but as you can see, it's right here. And all you have to do to share it is share with teachers. You could also, if you want, if it's easier, you can export or download it as a PDF and just submit the PDF on Brightspace. I don't care if you want to do the link or the PDF. Some people like the PDF because they don't have to deal with like whether if I can open it or not and get an email. By the way, if I ever send an email that I can't open something, don't worry. It's just something, I just send it to me or respond to the email. It might be on my end. Another nice thing about Nearpod is all those things, like if you did the collaborative or the poll and you're trying to get responses back, you get reports on this. You can download the reports and see what your students are answering. And it's good data. It's good just information check. A few things with all these, I'll mention this with Kahoot. I always made my students put in their real names on these. I'm sure you've probably been in classes before where students try to be a little silly. That could be whether they're adult students or in kindergarten. But it kind of stays in there. But you just share it, and that is Nearpod. Again, I'll put up a video that's a little more detailed. I'm trying to keep these somewhat under control for your summer class and kind of let you pick and choose what you wanted to check out. All right. Let me close that out. Actually, I may just go ahead and delete that one because I don't really need it. Let's delete it so it doesn't take up space. And they're all there. And again, You can check there. There's school libraries. Some of these Nearpods cost money. Again, if you have um, actual, actually click the tab. Some schools actually pay for this, so you already have access to them all. I would strongly suggest always checking out the content though, and make sure that it aligns to what you want. Yeah, because if they're made by other people, like with anything, that's always my problem with teachers pay teachers. I've seen a lot of not good stuff on there. I've seen some good stuff, but I've seen a lot of bad stuff that has incorrect content and things like that. So just make sure you always check out your what you're using or paying for if someone else is making it. Um, okay, I think that's that. Let me go one more time here. One last thing I wanted to show you, only because I make reference to it. 21st century skills. 21st century skills were a big thing at the turn of the century. I mentioned that at the beginning. They're not hard. They're just the skills that we want our students to kind of incorporate in the modern classroom. We want them to learn. This was a big, big thing, like I say, at the turn of the century. When I was teaching, these were a lot of buzzwords, but I think they are good skills, and you still would hear them all the time. But whenever you hear them, this is kind of when I hear 21st century skills, I always just think of the four C's: critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. Those are the big ones. If students are learning these skills, they're good life skills, which I think is pretty self-explanatory. But critical thinking is always pushed. Creativity. We want students to think outside the box, and I think that is important with this class. We're doing a technology class, and you can be creative with technology. For example, you all did the websites last week. I had my students, and I think I had the example up there. If not, maybe I'll email it out when I do the blast. I had my students go into Weebly and they made their own websites. And a lot of them were really, really cool and creative. So again, you can have students be creative. And sometimes technology can be a tool to that creativity and not just being the creative aspect. Collaboration, again, this is something I think we always worry about with technology. You know, Students can kind of get into silos, and not even in school, just in general. I think we can all do it I think a lot of society, because technology can sometimes isolate us. I think that's what people think. But in terms of collaboration, I just mentioned it today and mentioned it last week. I'm doing a grant proposal on the OneDrive where we're all working and talking and communicating on that document. So there's an aspect of collaboration going there, and of course, communication. I think is self-explanatory, but if you're doing flip recording things, I'm trying to do an aspect, maybe poorly, of communication through this video, just because we're an asynchronous class. We don't have a meeting time. So it's hopefully helping. Again, there's also some other ones, in literacy skills in terms of how to decipher information, media, and technology. This one, I have to say, I don't want to say it's becoming the most important. We're going to talk a little bit about AI in the coming weeks, especially in the school aspect, because I was just in a meeting yesterday where we're talking, and AI is becoming a huge, huge thing in schools, not just for students doing work, but I know teachers are using some of the AI to do their lesson planning, develop PowerPoints, things like that. So it's a tool. So I think it's it's a 21st century skill, so to speak, to learn how to utilize the AI in an effective and proper manner, I guess is the way to go about it. And of course, there's life skills, which I think these are just good things to live by. Those are the 21st century skills. The article is up if you want to check it out. And one reason I do bring this up is because when we talk about, I think it's in week 3 or week 4, I haven't looked at the syllabus. We're going to do a lesson plan brainstorming for this class. I know this is a pre-juncture class for a lot of people. With 380, it means you haven't junctured yet, so you haven't maybe done a lot of lesson planning or done just a limited amount. Um, we're going to incorporate these 21st century skills in terms of your lesson, i.e., what skills do you think are being met within your brainstormed plan, so to speak. But we'll get into that in a little bit in the coming weeks. So I think that is it. I'll make sure all the videos for YouTube are up with each technology, because again, I know I babble a little bit. And when I'm saying, oh, I get distracted because I hear a door or something like that, I don't want to throw you off. So feel free to watch these videos instead of my technology breakdowns. That does not hurt my feeling at all. The most important thing is that you get the information. With that being said, check these out. I'm actually going to throw something else up. Someone told me some of the schools are starting to really push Excel. Um, My level of Excel, I know how to work it. I'm going to put it up if you're interested, since I'm not going to kind of out of the way. But there's no Excel assignment or any assignment. But I'll definitely have a OneDrive video up just in general, like with Excel, Word, and all that. I'm kind of babbling, so I'll stop there. Um, if you are a graduate student, I'll make sure this number is up, but you might want to stay on if you have been watching this video. If you're undergrad, keep up the good work, and I'll see you. Have a good fourth, and I'll see you next week. Graduate students, if you look at the syllabus, I have 500 up? No, I don't. Let me go back here. There is a paper that is due for the graduate section for EDUC 500. It is not supposed to be anything super, super complex, but it is, we have to have a research component to this class because you are graduate students. So let me just pull up the syllabus. I'll make sure that I have this posted up at the bottom down by the Apple this week. I haven't posted any of this stuff up now, but let me go down here to the original email because I thought I had attached it on there. Yep. Okay. And we go here. I want to make sure I got research paper. Haha, see bright space. Let me go ahead and just tell you what it is. It's long and short of it. It's a 8 page paper on a technology topic. The topic is of your choice. I don't care if it's about a specific type of technology. I don't care if it's about an issue in technology. I've had a lot on the pandemic and the effects of too much technology on students. That's been a very popular topic. It can be on AI. I don't care, just as long as it's a technology topic that's related to um, technology topic related to schools and education. In terms of topics, again, you can check with me if you want, but I'm not usually too picky. Double spaced, needs to be an APA format. If you're not familiar with APA format, if you're just coming in the graduate program, I'll put some stuff up. It's on Purdue OWL. I am not. Some professors are very much a hawk on making sure you follow that. So I like to make sure that I don't usually come out with claws out, so to speak, if it's not perfect with APA, but definitely give it a shot if you're not familiar with it. It is something you're going to want to get familiar with because some of the other graduate classes that are a little more research based do like you to use APA. That's basically it. I'll make sure that the assignment itself is up. It is due at the very end. That's why I wanted to pull the syllabus up. I think I didn't have it. It's actually going to be due on the week of the 21st is when I have it. Where graduate section is very small, so if the 21st is pushing you for time, just fire me an email. If it comes a day or two after, that's fine. I really just need it by the 31st. It would be better if I got it earlier, but I know we're on a very compressed schedule with the summer, so I'm flexible on trying to help everyone out. Again, 21st it'll be due, but if you need more time, just fire me an email. That way I don't, and if you see a zero or something pop up after 21st, don't freak out. It's just me knowing that I need to follow up with you and put it in there. Usually I put it exempt if until I get it. So other than that, I'll make sure all the details for the assignment itself are posted. I thought I had posted it on let me look at the assignments. I kick myself for not pulling this up a little quicker. For some reason, I had thought it was on the syllabus that I had the description. Let me see. So that's smart. Yep, there it is. I was going to say, I thought I had to put it up somewhere. And there's everyone that's in there. All right. Let's see if I got a description on there. Oh, there it is. Yep, 5 to 8 page research paper, technology and education of your choice. Nothing too complicated. In APA format. And I put a list of anything else if you want to check it out. There's Purdue OWL, so everything is up if you need it for the description. I thought I had to put that up, but again, don't feel if you need to reach out to me, that's fine. And actually, even if you need to meet face to face, I'm going to be out on out. I'll still be in our class. I won't be in town the week of the 14th, but we can always meet beforehand over at Community or Zoom, or most of the time we can figure things out over email. So I just wanted to give everyone the heads up if you want to get a head start, because I know a lot of the people who have been doing the Apple certification were graduate students. Awesome. And then that we're already starting the Apple certification. And if you want to go ahead and get the paper going, that's fine. So again, I hope that helps. I know it's a little babbly, but we'll kind of go from there. One take. That was the goal. So I think I'm going to stop sharing from there. And again, if anyone has any questions, reach out to me. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off, and I will talk to everyone later. Bye.